Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about video games. Today, I'm talking about the much-anticipated sequel to my favorite game of 2022. It's Citizen Sleeper 2: Starward Vector. Citizen Sleeper 2 was developed by Jump Over the Age and releases on January 31st, 2025 for PC and consoles. It is a clever and effective combination of visual novel and dice-based role-playing game. I played this on Xbox Series X with a code provided by the publisher. In the game, you play a sleeper. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted, one person sleeping until their debt is worked away, their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. Sleepers belong to corporations, but you have made an escape. You got help from a sketchy individual who broke your figurative chains to the corporation and your reliance on their materials to sustain your body. But now, you have other problems. With the allies you can find and a lack of memory of the past, you need to travel through space to avoid the one chasing you and carve out a new life for yourself. Citizen Sleeper 2 takes the mechanics and themes from the first game and really expands upon them. Whereas the first game had you settling in and making a home on a rundown space station, Starward Vector is all about motion. You have a spaceship and travel from hub to hub, meeting new people and taking on contracts. In addition to increasing the scope of the locations you'll visit, the RPG mechanics are also expanded. At the start, you choose from 3 different classes, each with different levels and 5 skills that'll be checked throughout the game. Each class gets a bonus to one skill, while another you have no talent in at all. Each class also has a different push ability. This push ability can be used to boost dice rolls of both yourself and your companions, but does stress everyone out. Stress is another mechanic that can damage your dice or even take characters out for a time. Each day or cycle, you roll your dice, which are used to overcome the challenges you'll face. You need to decide how to use these dice, which tasks you might risk rolling a 2 on, and which ones you'll want to save your 6s for. Skill checks use your dice plus any skill-based modifiers with possibility of a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. In addition to this, you'll need to make sure you have enough money to survive, fuel to travel, and supplies to keep your crew and self fed. But what this game is really about is the writing. It's great writing that brings the world and every character to life and makes every decision feel important. This is such a pure distillation of what makes a good narrative RPG. You get to decide who you are, who your friends are, and make a difference in the lives of the people around you. My favorite addition in the sequel is that you form your own crew. People who travel with you, who share in your struggles and successes as you share in theirs. There were tough decisions to make. Sometimes inviting someone onto your crew meant separating them from their families, or that they'd ask a lot of you in order to accomplish their own goals. Some characters I wasn't sure if I could trust and never extended the offer to join me. For those I did form an attachment to, though, I was ride or die and would help them out in any possibly wild or risky plans they had. It was very easy to get attached to Seraphim, who was on the run with me, my connection to my forgotten past. And I loved Junie, who was dedicated to data extraction, convinced that we needed to know and understand the past in order to have a chance of changing the future. And eventually, you get the option of having a ship pet, and who can say no to that? Everything about the game is very earnest. Everyone's just trying to make it out here in space, under the crushing weight of capitalism and the heel of corporations and militaries. Some of my favorite side missions involved helping a pirate radio station to broadcast again, bringing information and knowledge to the people, and assisting to facilitate a worker revolt. Your crew can come and go every time you land on a hub, sometimes having something to say about your current objective, and sometimes leaving to do their own thing. When you take on a contract, you need to choose 2 of them to take with you. Contracts are the area of the game where things can get a bit more high stakes and stressful. You need to travel out somewhere to an abandoned ship or asteroid, and you have a limited number of cycles to do what you came for. You need enough supplies to feed everyone while you're out there, and you need to decide what to do with everyone's dice rolls. There's usually more than one way to accomplish things, and choosing the right companions with the right skills will make that easier. Your push ability can be used to better your dice while also causing everyone more stress. There were times when my stress got too high, my dice started breaking or glitching out, and success was not assured. All the while, between objectives, you're treated to wonderfully written conversations and descriptions that tell you what's going on and ask you how to react. In addition to the great writing, Citizen Sleeper has a fantastic soundtrack by Amos Roddy. It's the perfect accompaniment to the game, whether you're exploring a space station, hacking into a mainframe, or having a heart-to-heart with one of your companions. It's futuristic and pensive, perfectly balancing wonder and melancholy. It's a great soundtrack to listen to outside of the game as well. I'd love it if the game had just a bit more visual interest. The UI is clean and functional, and I really like it, but the occasional extra animation or bit of movement would go a long way. I was riveted the whole time I played Citizen Sleeper 2. It does such a good job of building a world and a family of characters that I really cared about. I always wanted to see and to decide what would happen next. This is a great sequel that manages to stand on its own by introducing new mechanics and changing the scope of the game. While I personally connected with the single location of the first game a bit more, I love how Starward Vector allowed you to gather a crew to travel with you. You don't have to play the first game in order to enjoy this one, but I do recommend it regardless. If you want to see more, go check out my best games of 2024, or another of my videos. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.